triathletes, cyclists, runners, swimmers? Today we're talking about balance. If you don't have one leg balance, you're not going to be as good and balanced of an athlete, right? You're going to be more susceptible to injuries if one leg is stronger than the other. So today we're talking about balancing on one leg, and that starts with having good posture, okay? So you want to think about your ears over your shoulders over your hips over your knees, and your knees basically finding balance between your heels and your toes, okay? I'm going to turn to the side because you don't want to have a duck butt and you don't want to be curled under. You want to have that neutral spine position in your pelvis and think about being tall. Now from here, you want to then be able to balance on one leg. So I test my athletes before we start working together if they can balance on one leg for 45 seconds. But it starts with good posture. So hands on the hips. Now I'm gonna lift one foot off the ground and balance for as long as 45 seconds if I need to. That's the minimum. If you can't balance for 45 seconds, you know that you need to do some work and practice. How do you practice? You just balance. So notice also my foot is completely straight. My toes are not turned in or out. And I am moving, right? I'm wobbling a little bit, but my body is responding to the wobble. And I'm using my core to help stabilize me, not just my feet. I'm just gonna demo that again. Make sure that your feet are straight, and we talked about that posture piece, right? So hands on the hips, just lift one leg up, heel behind you, bend your knee naturally, and balance, right? If this is too hard, you can also just gently put your big toe down on the ground behind you. Right now, my foot is on the sponge or the pad, but that's a way to start to get your balance. You want your knee slightly bent, okay? But ideally, your foot is completely off the ground and you're balancing on one leg for a minimum of 45 seconds. As you're able to do this with your eyes open, 45 seconds is pretty much your minimum. Then you want to challenge yourself in different ways. I have another video called One Leg Exercises, and that's going to go deeper into squatting, lunging, all that kind of stuff on one leg. But we're going to stick with balance today, and we want to make it harder. And the next step to making it harder, the next progression is to do this with your eyes closed, okay? So again, you're going to have good posture, get your core engaged, and you're going to balance on one leg, and then close your eyes. The goal is to do this for 10 seconds. So I wobbled, right? But I got my 10. So that you can play games with this. If you have kids, you can play with your kids and practice with with your eyes closed while you're brushing your teeth, while you're waiting for the water to boil, while you're cooking. Challenge yourself and get your balance really, really sturdy and stable so that when you go to do your strength training, when you're running, you're biking, and you're swimming, you have two legs that are equally as strong. If you want to make it even harder for yourself, you can balance one leg on a Bosu ball or even like a foam pad, which makes the ground a little bit more unstable, right? And you can do the same thing and really check in with where the work is coming from. Make your core do some of the work so your foot isn't doing everything. I hope that helps you. Work on that balance and it'll improve every aspect of any sport that you do. Wishing you well, Coach Erinne.